Yes, so at the moment I am teaching on a platform where I'm teaching children in China in group classes, which is really nice. The kids are really, really sweet. So that's online. And then before that, I was in Spain and I was teaching an adult and a kid face-to-face English. One, because the child was going to move to England and they wanted a native English speaker to get her conversation English up so that she could move without any problems. And one was a man who was wanting to improve his English for work.
Yeah, how do you spend your time during quarantine?
I spent a lot of time cycling. So I have my own bike and I go cycling around the countryside. Lots of time talking to friends, different ways over Zoom and things, walking. I really enjoy spending time in nature. So that was what I did for most of lockdown. Also baking, cooking, things like that, yeah.
What drove you to become a teacher in Native Camp?
I really think language is interesting. I've learnt a language myself and I really appreciate that it's made me be able to speak to more people and speak to people in a different way. So when you can speak to someone in their own language, I think the conversations you have are quite different and you learn a lot more about the place. And I think that English is an interesting language and that it's very useful for a lot of people to learn professionally, but also for them to be able to travel and just communicate in a different way. And I like to see people learn and that I'm able to have a positive impact on them. So there was someone who I knew that I gave lessons to, and I knew that them learning English would really, really increase their prospects in finding work, and I found that really rewarding.
That's good. Yeah. So yeah. So I've learned about the expression, maybe a common slang in Bristol. So like me lover.
Me lover, yes.
Yeah, so it's like a greeting for everybody, like, right? So even a stranger, you do that. But we think it's a little bit passionate. So what do you think is the reason behind that? Yeah.
I would say also me lover would normally only be used with members of the opposite sex. So a man would not say to another man, me lover. It would be more a man to a woman.
Yeah.
I personally did not grow up in Bristol, so I don't use that saying. And I think it is normally older people that use it now because it is quite... I think you have to use it quite wisely. So if, for example, someone my age said me lover to me, I would get quite offended that they were talking to me differently because I was a woman. Whereas if it was like an older man, then I wouldn't feel so offended because I understand that that's just the way that they speak and that they're not talking down to me. They're just using language that they think's okay. So I wouldn't recommend anyone learning English to use that saying because you have to really use it wisely within the situation.
you tell me the name of your mother's hometown? I think maybe you don't speak Bristol accent.
No, I don't. So I come from a county called Hampshire.
Hampshire.
It's in the south of England.
Yeah.
So I have a very soft accent.
Yeah, so is it similar to the so-called RP accent? I mean,
Yes,
received pronunciation. Yeah.
Yeah, so with England, the furthest sort of towards London and the centre of England and the south of England you have a more neutral accent. And then the more north and east and west you go, the more accents you come across, and they're more distinctive. So normally people that speak like the Queen are very well off, as in they have a lot of money, or they come from families that used to have a lot of money. So not many people speak the same way as the Queen anymore. I think in history there were more people that used to speak with that kind of accent, but it's more with people with lots of money. But lots of people will speak the way that I speak from where they come from, regardless of how much money they have.